Yeah. Welcome, welcome, take your seat where wisdom and strategy finally meet. Leadership, purpose, vision, insight, relevant solutions, shine in the light. Yeah. Shine in the light. Got a problem, let's find a way. Turning obstacles into purpose today. From the boardroom to ministry to building strong leaders, making dreams come true. Knowledge and wisdom, insight and grace, helping you navigate every place. When challenges rise and the pressure's on, relevant solutions keeps moving strong. Relevant solutions, that's what we do.
Hello, everyone out there. I am giving you a personal welcome to Relevant Solutions with Dr. Ebony. This is our inaugural episode where we have real talk with real people who give real solutions. This is a podcast that we will meet on weekly that will go through everything from leadership to challenges to purpose so that we can have opportunities for transformation in our own space. My name is Dr. Ebony, and I am an educator, a strategist, as well as an author. I would like for you to join us for solutions from business and faith and even your own personal growth, because every challenge that we face has a solution. So I give you a grand welcome to our inaugural episode of Relevant Solutions. So today we have a very special guest. That gives me every time. Today, we have a very special guest as we kick off this season of problems nobody prepared me for. So in this very first section, we're going to talk about the problems that no one prepared us for in our work fields. So my guest today is none other than Nikki Garcia, who is a tech entrepreneur. She's also a woman of faith, as well as a podcaster and an author. This woman is able to balance these many hats because she carries relevant solutions into the conversation. She also gives us a bridge into how we're able to crack open this sometimes tricky space. So one of the things I appreciate most about our guest today is her ability to juggle all of the hats. So we're going to dive in. So we say welcome. Miss Nikki, you can go ahead and bring yourself off mute so we can get this conversation going. We're going to be quite conversational today. And beyond your title, as a woman in tech, I just want to know, what was a defining moment when not only you chose this career, but what was the defining moment that helped you say, I'm here to stay and I'm going to stick with this space?
Okay, the defining moment for me was when I was younger. I used to like to fix things. And so my parents always wanted something fixed, their TV, their computer, or just computers weren't as relevant till later on, but just different things they wanted fixed. The phone wasn't working, something. And I used to like to play with all the electronics. And I had decided in my life that I was going to be a fixer. I remember there was a TV man who used to fix stuff as a TV guy. And he'd go in the back of the TV. You remember the old TV? You take them apart and you go in there and you fix it. So I
Antenna.
wanted to, yes, the antennas and stuff. So I wanted to do that. And I decided the first thing I was going to do was learn the computer so that I can fix it. And then I will branch into other things. Little did I know that the computer was a beast by itself and I was going to remain there.
Absolutely. So being a fixer is similar to just simply tinkering and being a problem solver. So
Yeah.
in being a problem solver, you had this inquiry from a small child to be able to fix things, what led you into an industry where we see industry giants like Google, where we see industry giants like Microsoft and all of these big names and big tech spaces. How does someone, especially a woman, tap into a STEM related field? How were you able to do that?
One of the things that happened with me was I went to Florida A&M University, and like you said, it is very much so dominated by men, and
Yeah,
so there were men everywhere. I mean, it's like the song "Hallelujah, it's raining men," right? So when you went to the tech building, honey, that was it. But the funny thing about it was, um, this is where like partnership comes in. There was a guy there, and he was the one that helped fix the student lab. And he would come next to me, and I would have my homework, and he'd be like, "Well, that program's not going to work." And I used to be like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, I know it doesn't work. I mean, how do you fix it?" And he's like, "You really want me to show you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So from there, his name was Mr. Harvey. Mr. Harvey taught me how to learn how to think like the computer, because that was very complex, to take on thinking of something else. You know what I mean? You have your own thinking, your own set of beliefs, knowledge, understanding, and then here comes this thing that is a certain type of linear thinking that is definitely not a part of my compass. And
Right.
so as he would sit there and show me how the computer think and how to correct syntax and how
Mhm.
it's like a language that we have to decode, right? After a while, I became one of the people that was known for being able to do programs. And so all the boys would come to me and say, "How did you know how to do that?" Well, Mr. Harvey was a programmer and he taught me how to do it. And so this is the importance of partnering and networking with people that already have the information, right? And
Right.
sitting up under their tutelage to grow thereby.
So at that moment in your life and at that moment in stage in your career in undergraduate studies, Mr.
Mhm,
Harvey positioned
mhm.
himself in your life as a divine connection. And
Yes.
throughout our lives, divine connections show up time and time again. So when we
Mhm,
fast forward now in this
mhm,
space that you're in now, when you've had multiple Mr. Harveys along the way, if there was someone who was in your position and they say, well, that's good for her. She had a Mr. Harvey. I don't have anyone. Is there any
mhm.
or any spaces that you could lead them to practically if they don't have a Mr. Harvey?
Um, One of the things I would do is, now this is a different type of networking, and this is networking amongst peers. Now that wasn't through an adult, but this was amongst peers. And so we had this thing like Yahoo messaging and Yahoo rooms and different things of that nature. And I positioned myself inside rooms that people had like interests, right? And so then I began to meet people I didn't know, and we would talk about all kinds of stuff, but the commonality was technology. And so, in the midst of one of these rooms, I met a Romanian programmer, and this Romanian programmer showed me how to do things that I did not know how to do. So he said, "Well, what language do you know?" I said, "I know PHP." And I said, "It's similar to C++." Plus plus. He said, "Yeah, I'm familiar with it." And so there were things that I needed to do. I would take on projects as it pertains to, just freelancing opportunities. That were above my expertise, and he would kind of show me how to do it. And then he would forward me in an email how he did it. And I was like, "Oh, that's how you do it." And so just through peer relationship, peer to peer relationship, I was able to grow thereby without having a Mr. Harvey, right?
Right. And
Hmm.
so I believe for our listeners tonight, this is incredibly practical because even if you don't have someone, it is up to you to put yourself in an intentional integration into new spaces. So many times
Yes.
people get stuck in cycles or after having the 10th rejection letter or the 50th turn down on LinkedIn. And we're in a recessional season right now. Jobs are hard
Mhm.
to come by. And so people are like, well, do I shift? Do I stay in this space? What does it look like when the space that you're called to from a
Mhm.
child, because I know
Mhm.
you have experience here, it doesn't happen? How are you able to weather the storm until you are aligned with where you're going? So, what does that look like for your life?
In my life previously, one of the things that happens is when I got out of school, they always tried to tell us to get internships. And I
Yes.
was not that person that went and got the internship. Now, if you guys don't know, me and Dr. Ebony have known each other since college. And so
Yeah.
Dr. Ebony did internships. Nikisha did not do internships. And so when Dr. Ebony got out
Okay.
of school, Dr. Ebony had but
A
when
job.
Nikki got out of school, it was a whole nother different story. And so
My,
anyways,
have the tables turned.
so I had to build experience for myself, right? And so the way that I did that was when I got out of school, I did freelancing. But
Mm,
beyond the freelancing, the other thing that I did was I noticed that I couldn't get the opportunities. I didn't have the experience. I didn't have the know-how, or people just wouldn't give me a chance, right? Because there is a standardized comprehension or curriculum that people might not even know my field, but they have this standardized template that says, okay, this if you don't have this skill set, you're not prepared for this job. Okay. And so I would analyze the market. I would analyze the job market, and I would see the skill set that they were looking for. And I would say, okay, I would intentionally go out and get those type of freelancing jobs. In the midst of it, though, I still was like just kind of just sad, depressed, different things, frustrated because here I am in like year 3 of being outside of school, and I still don't have a job. Okay, and so one of the things that I did was I got to a place where I began to pray. I told the Lord, well, you know what, Lord, I don't know what to do anymore. I don't understand what's happening. And so while I'm in this valley of a sort or a wilderness of the sort, I begin to tell God, listen, I'll just give my life to you. I'll just pray. I'll spend time in prayer with you. And one of the things that I did was I got the confessions from Creflo Dollar. He had a favorite confession, and I would go and I would pray that favorite confession every hour on the hour and undergird it with intercession, and that would be speaking in tongues for some who don't do it. That's what I did. And in the midst of it, what began to happen was my client load burst. And so where I was like getting $50 here and there everywhere, here I am for the first time in life. I made $5,000 in 1 year. Now that doesn't sound like a lot, but you got to understand when you don't have anything, that is great.
it
Think
is
about it. I've been out of
new.
school 3 years. I've never made $5,000. Okay. But not only did that break open for me and the opportunity to get a job that will pay me 55,000 and be with full-time employment came. So it was like, should I be an entrepreneur or should I work full-time? And so I was balancing the two of those
Mm,
thoughts because I felt like God had promised me. Now, this is the thing when something's declared over your life, like you're going to be an entrepreneur and you're going to make millions of dollars, and your company is going to be a multi-million dollar company, and you're going to, okay. And so you have the word of God, the timing of God, right? And then you have get the job. And the two of them don't
they
correlate.
don't always match. They don't
This
always
wasn't
match.
correlating. And
Right.
so my friends are like, you're stupid. You're going over there talking about you gonna say with this $5,000, trying to hold on to the promise when you could have 55. I chose the 55, but it grew me, it matured me, and prepared me even more as an entrepreneur, right?
Yes.
It gave me more disciplines, more insights, and it taught me how to do things. Yeah.
This is a word to those of you out there who are in the battle between do I do entrepreneurship or do I do a 9 to 5? And there's two different sides of the camp. So some people feel like if you're doing a 9 to 5, that means that you failed at something and you're trapped on a job. But
Mhm.
there is progress and things to be said about a 9 to 5. There is, you can't skip the process. And that's what she's alluding to. And as you were speaking, it sounds like you were just ahead of time because you talked about freelancing work when things weren't going through. But if you look at where we are in 2026, gig jobs are the future. Everyone is doing a gig job here or there to supplement. And so now we're in a space where tech has changed once again, and we're in the age of AI. And because we're in the age of AI, we heard how faith carried you through, but navigating this space where AI is replacing jobs in the tech field, in the education field. It's replacing jobs on every single mountain. So, as an expert in tech and in tech studies, where do you see this AI thing going? And how can we utilize it by being first adopters so that it is something that we can make those millions of dollars in being a first adopter rather than staying so far away from it that we totally count out what could be potentially be a new river or a new wealth transfer?
Okay, so just like I said in the very, very beginning, right? It was position yourself contingent upon the market. right? And so I analyzed the market, and then I said, this is what the market wants. Okay, so in every field, what you have to learn is when it comes down to the AI is still kind of stupid, unfortunately. I mean, we talk about it all the time. You know, you use chat. We were talking about it yesterday, how they cut off the hands and
Hands
things of
off.
that.
I didn't tell you to do that, chat. What are you doing?
Well, even when we talk to our AI robots on the website, they're not totally intelligent. They have to be programmed as to what to say and how to answer questions. And then you're still transferred later on to a human being. I'm sure that that is going to evolve over time, but the objective is to learn to program your robots. And that would keep you relevant in all your fields because they're going to need some manner of human programming them. And so, yes, they will eventually come into some manner of independent thought, which is what they want them to do to kind of mimic a soul. You know, understand what I'm saying? But right now, in this space, as it is growing, we are those that can build programs, build apps, build, and we can do all of that just by positioning ourselves to learn just some AI that we can be effective inside of whatever business, ministry, or whatever the case may be, and we can create solutions that are relevant for your own industry. And so a lot of times God gives us, and I'm gonna be quiet after that. A lot of times God gives us these different ideas that we have never been able to do because we didn't have the technical expertise. But the thing about AI is you just got to talk to it, and all the ideas that God has given you, it will
Yes.
do it. And so you have an advantage at this point that can put you in a place where the wealth transfer can come to you because you have developed an idea, right? That God had given you so long ago that you never could do before, that now you could do it in seconds. And all it took was you sitting there just writing the logic
Right.
for it. And that's it.
I love what you landed in this last segment of questioning. You said that if they want to break into something, don't just shoot at anything, analyze the market. And once you
Mhm.
analyze the market, you position yourself to be a solution on whatever mountain and whatever field you're in. You said that the future, we will have AI, it's here because what it's doing is leveling the playing field. And so we can fix it, we can train it, we can evaluate it, we can get in front of this and don't allow it to be something that suffocates us. It gives us an advantage when we are in front of this thing. So we're about to go in what we call our rapid fire round. And so I'm going to give you a quick sentence and I want you to give me one word. I just want to give me
Mhm.
one word to finish it
Okay.
up. So
Okay.
success is
Humility.
humility. I love it. Faith is
Action.
people need more.
God.
People need less.
Grind.
One lesson you are still learning.
Oh, I'm still learning. I'm still learning how to stop being so proudful so that I can stay in that humble place that God can ascend. You know, the Bible says the last shall be first and the first shall be last. And just to stay in the place of servitude and care about people, love people. That is all about the humility so that, you know, I don't put my needs far above everyone else's, but we have a balance in that and we make
Yes.
sure that we serve each other, right?
One
Yeah.
word for what you're feeling in this season right now.
Enlargement.
Mhm.
Enlargement.
And what is your relevant solution for everyday life?
My relevant solution for everyday life is position yourself. All you have to do, sit down, assess the market, look at it, look at what you need, become an answer to a problem. All right. Position yourself and become an answer to a problem.
Absolutely. Now,
Mhm.
for our listeners and viewers, I want you to tell us where we can find you, either on socials. Go ahead and drop us where we can find your books. For those who want to extend this conversation, where can we find out about Miss Nikki Garcia?
All right, everything is on kingdomgirlnikki.com. Kingdomgirlnikki.com. If you want my books, I have Office of the Midwife, which is one of them. I have 40 Love. I have the book Travail. They are everywhere. They're only online. So it's Amazon, it's books everywhere. Books a Million, Barnes and Nobles, anywhere you want to look, that's there. You look up the name, you get it. You have Office of the Midwife, Travail, The Pant of God, and The Righteous Ones, and 40 Love. And anything else about me pertaining to me, I have a prophetic blog, lifegivingrama.com. So Kingdom Girl Nikki, lifegivingrama.com. And all of my socials are at Kingdom Girl Nikki. It's all one thing.
It is all in the same place. So we
Yes.
thank you guys for joining us for our very first episode of Relevant Solutions with Dr. Ebony. And I want you all to remember, real talk, real people, real solutions. No matter what you are facing, there is always a pathway forward. Until next time, I say unto you, keep seeking relevant solutions for everyday life. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Relevant Solutions with Dr. Ebony. Before we close, I want to leave you with this. Every challenge deserves a solution, and every season has a purpose and a sound. No matter where you are today, remember your story is not over. If this conversation added value to your life, subscribe, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and help us continue spreading relevant solutions around the world. For more wisdom, encouragement, and strategies, explore my books. Even Birds Get Tired of Flying, Walk Until You're Able to Fly Again, and Even Birds Run Again, A Journey of Faith, Failure, and Perseverance, which are all available on Amazon. If you're ready to continue the journey, I invite you to join the Solution family inside the Solution Room, our school community where leaders and learners gather to move, learn, and grow from their now to their next. And as always, my prayer is that you receive relevant solutions for everyday life. I'm Dr. Ebony Wallace. Until the world hears, real talk, real people, real solutions.